We always begin with gratitude. So I just want to thank you for being here and let you know that I'm very honored to have your energy and your presence here in this space. Peace. I am LA, licensed therapist, holistic wellness coach and guide, and the creator of this channel, Reconnect with You. If you are new here, I want to welcome you to the space. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm grateful to have you here with me again. So, are you ready to reconnect with you? If so, come on in and get comfortable wherever getting comfortable looks and feels like for you. I want to talk to y'all today about how to create and maintain a sense of inner peace. And I want to give you a few tips and just a bit of guidance about how you might go about doing that. The biggest thing that comes up for me when I think about having a sense of inner peace and being able to have that inner peace be lasting is for you to change your relationship with your external environment. In other words, the things that are happening and unfolding for you externally, changing your relationship with those things and how you allow them to impact you. Now, that is obviously easier said than done, but it is possible. And some ways that you can do that is for you to create a mantra for yourself. And this is a mantra that you can come back to and revisit anytime that you need to, anytime that you feel like you are focusing too much on what's happening externally, or maybe not trusting the process enough, or maybe allowing how what is happening for you externally to negatively impact your mood and just how you feel. And I'll give you a couple of lines from a mantra that I actually created for myself and that I've offered to some of my clients. And this is probably the most important line from the mantra, and that is, I make peace with where I am. I make peace with where I am. And making peace with where you are takes a lot of courage. It takes you being able to practice acceptance around wherever it is that you are. And that doesn't mean that you have to feel good about it. That just means that you accept that this is where I am right now for whatever reason. This is maybe where I need to be. This is also a place, or me being in this place is strengthening me and teaching me things that I'm going to need for wherever my path is going to lead me next. So remember that I make peace with where I am. Another part of this mantra is, or another line I should say from the mantra is, I trust that there are things working on my behalf that I may not be able to see in this moment. That is your reminder that regardless of what's happening for me externally or what things might look or feel like, that there are things that are transpiring on my behalf for my highest good that I may not be able to see and may not even be able to understand in this moment. But remember that there are forces that are working on my behalf for my highest good. Another line that I want to give you from this mantra, and then I'm going to move on to the next tip. And this is just to get you started. Your mantra is personal to you, so I just wanted to offer you this to give you a bit of an idea about what can go in your mantra. But another line from this mantra is, things are always working out for me. And I'm smiling as I, I'm smiling as I say that, because it is not always believable for you. You may be in circumstances or really going through a storm, a really difficult time, and for you to say to yourself, things are always working out for me, or things are working out on my behalf, you may be thinking to yourself, no, they're not. But they are. They still are. So it's important that you encourage yourself even when you are experiencing or navigating difficult or challenging circumstances. So reminding yourself, things are always working out for me, because no matter what it looks or feel like, I am going to be okay on the other side of this, and I am okay in this moment. So creating a mantra for yourself is one of the ways that you can shift your relationship to your external environment. One other thing I want to say before I move on to the next tip is that when it comes to your external environment, the reason why it's important that you have a home base, so to speak, or a safe haven that you can return to is that your external circumstances are constantly changing. So if you are basing how you feel and the actions that you take on your external environment, you're going to be like, it may feel like you're going in all of these different directions, and you're constantly changing how you feel and what direction you want to go in because your external circumstances and environment are changing constantly. So it's important that you create a sense of stability within yourself, and this is where that inner peace comes in, that you can return to and always come back to no matter what's happening for you externally. Another practice that's going to support you in not being so reactive to your external environment and circumstances is for you to have a practice with stillness. And this can look like a bunch of different things. I've talked in some of my previous videos around practices like fasting and silent meditation. I think I may have even mentioned yoga briefly, but these are just a few of many practices that you can have that support you in being still. And this stillness can also come in the form of you making sure that you're maintaining a connection with your breath, with your body, checking in with your body and how different things might feel in your body, how different things are showing up for you in your body. And that can also help guide you in terms of what you might need in a given moment. So making sure that you have a regular practice with stillness and you have an ability to pause, because it is easy to get caught up in busyness and also just being on this loop of just going and going and going. And it's really difficult to be at peace when you are always on the go and always moving around, and you're not giving yourself an opportunity to pause, to reflect, to process whatever it is that you might be feeling, or even simply to just check in with yourself and check in with your body. So having a practice of stillness, a practice that supports you with being able to embrace stillness, is another tip that I have for you. The other thing that I want to say, going back to just your external environment, is that it's important that you remember that you are separate from what's happening for you externally. So try not to internalize whatever is happening. Try not to take it on or absorb it. Try to acknowledge however it is that you feel about what's happening externally, while not letting those feelings overcome you or take you over to the point that you are dwelling in those emotions. It is an act of self-love when you are able to acknowledge with yourself, this thing is happening and I feel this way about it. So maintaining a sense of inner peace is not about avoiding your emotions or how you feel about things. It's also not about not giving yourself an opportunity to feel. And I'm mentioning that because sometimes there are misconceptions with, how do I achieve peace and how do I maintain this sense of peace? A part of the process is actually for you to acknowledge with yourself how you feel about something, how something might be impacting you, but also not staying there, being able to move on from that place. You can acknowledge how you feel about something and not dwell on it and not allow yourself to stew in emotions that may not feel good for you. So that's what I have for you in terms of how you can create and maintain a sense of inner peace. And the biggest part of this really is changing your relationship to what is happening for you externally. Again, because things are constantly changing and in a way that is very difficult to anticipate. So if you are always changing how you feel based on what you see and what's happening in front of you, you can have a very chaotic, very chaotic energy, but it can also feel very chaotic within your body, and also just as it relates to all of the different emotions that you might be experiencing. Remembering that no matter what is happening around you, no matter what it looks like, you can find peace, you can reach for peace, you can maintain a sense of peace within yourself. I end each and every video with a journaling prompt. Well, actually, it's not just for journaling, but it's a prompt for journaling or for reflection. And I'm going to take a moment to pause, because this is, if you're new here, or even if you're returning, I'm doing things a bit differently on my channel. So this is unscripted, freestyle video. I did have the subject in mind, but I had not identified everything that I wanted to say. So everything that I shared was just off the top of my head. Maybe some of it was channeled, or were channeled messages. But the prompt that I think is important for you to reflect on as it relates to inner peace. I actually want to give y'all an assignment, and I've never referred to it in that way, but I want to invite you to create your mantra for inner peace. What is your mantra for inner peace? That is the prompt. So feel free to take some of the suggestions that I offered earlier in terms of lines that you can start with that you may want to add. It is very powerful to put pen to paper, so I do encourage you to write this down. But the prompt is, what is your mantra for inner peace? Well, that is what I have for y'all for today. I look forward to connecting with y'all again soon, but in the meantime, reconnect with you. Peace, y'all.